Joining me now, Florida Republican Congressman Byron. Welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
It's good to be back with you.
All right, let me start with this. Did you, going into Tuesday, imagine it would be quite as decisive as it was, not only at the top of the ticket, but the Senate, the House races? Okay, let's talk about his critics who have now ominous warnings now that he is once again president-elect. David French, writing at the New York Times, if Trump was telling the truth about his intentions, then he will attempt a campaign of retribution and mass deportation that will fracture families, create chaos in American communities, and potentially even result in active duty troops being deployed to our cities. Here's what your House colleague, Democratic Congressman Richie Torres, had to say.
One of the fundamental differences between his first presidency and his subsequent presidency is the fact that he now enjoys absolute immunity, and he seems to be intent on exacting revenge against his political enemies.
How do you respond to Americans who say they now are fearful about a second Trump presidency?
For the American people who've been listening to these lies from the Democratic left, I would tell you this is not something that Donald Trump has ever spoken to or he's committed to whatsoever. There's no enemies list. I mean, yeah, there are people who've been opposed to him, but he is focused on the American people. Job number one is securing our border and beginning the process of deporting illegal immigrants out of our country. Job number two is getting our economy thriving again, becoming energy dominant again. That's his focus. His focus is the American people, not some enemies list that only gets talked about in the Daily Kos or Salon.com or any other place like that. He's focused on making our country great. And what will happen in our country is success is going to be the measurement that he will use to demonstrate he's back in the White House and back in charge of running this nation. The metric is success. There is no other measure.
Okay, to that point, Joe Rogan, who was a late endorser of President Trump, says he now does have to take this sweeping victory. He's got great opportunity to try to bring things together and get things done. Here's what he said post-election.
And we got a real chance to make real change. He's got to not attack the left and not attack everybody. Let them all talk their but unite. Now It's time to unite everybody.
There are a lot of skeptics out there who don't think President Trump is going to be about unity. What do you say to Joe Rogan's point?
I think what Joe Rogan is saying is absolutely correct. And Donald Trump's going to be focused on those things. Look at the announcements he's already made. One of the key things is he wants to support a constitutional amendment to bring congressional term limits. That is something that overwhelmingly the American people have supported for a very long time. Look at what's happening already across the globe. Qatar wants Hamas out of Doha. You have the Chinese are signaling they want peaceful relations. You have the Russians and the Ukrainians now saying they're open to talking. The European Union wants to buy liquid natural gas from the United States. This caravan that was building below our southern border is now starting to break up because they know Donald Trump's going to be the next president of the United States, and we are not going to tolerate more illegal immigration. Those are the things that unite the American people. If you have talking heads on the left who still want to go down the line of their conspiracy theories, let them. Donald Trump's going to be focused on the American people.
Well, one of the places that he made up a lot of ground with was black voters, black male voters in particular. And I know that you hosted events specifically to have conversations with them. What did you hear at those events that gives you an understanding of why there was that shift in the electorate?
I heard the same thing talking to black men that I heard talking to anybody across our country. How are we going to get ahead and make more money, be able to pass something on to our children? How are we going to secure this southern border? It's not fair that you have illegals coming in, getting gas cards, getting hotel stays and all the like. That's not right. And actually, you'll notice that the city of New York New York has now announced they're not giving out any more food cards, these food cards. That's because of Donald Trump and the fact that he won. So what you heard from black men, you heard also from Hispanic men. You heard also from, in part, suburban women. They want a country that is safe. They want an economy that is thriving. And Donald Trump is going to deliver on all of those promises.
So we're going to